You were handpicked by the most powerful conqueror in human history. You had a golden medallion that gave you authority over every single person in the empire. You rode the fastest horses, ate the best food, and had access to shelter anywhere you went. On paper, you were untouchable. Now let me tell you what your body actually looked like after a week on the job. Your spine was being destroyed mile by mile. Your organs were shifting and bouncing so violently that you had to wrap your entire torso in thick cloth bandages just to function. Your food was raw meat that had been slowly cooked by the sweat and friction of a horse's back. And if, after surviving all of that, the message you were carrying happened to contain bad news, there was a very real chance Genghis Khan would have your head removed the second you finished speaking. This is the story of the most elite and most miserable job in the ancient world. And by the end of this video, you will never complain about your commute again. Let's talk about your daily quota. In a world where most people travel maybe a few miles a day, you are expected to ride over 100 miles every single day. And I don't mean a leisurely trot. I mean a flat-out, breakneck gallop. You see, the Mongol Empire is massive. It stretches from the edges of Eastern Europe all the way to the Pacific Ocean. To keep control over this massive territory, the Khan needs information delivered fast. And you are the internet. To maintain this insane speed, the Mongols built relay stations roughly every 20 to 30 miles across the empire. As you approach a station, you don't even slow down to say hello. You wear special bells on your belt that ring loudly as you ride. The station guards hear you coming from a mile away and immediately saddle up a fresh, perfectly rested horse. You gallop into the station, leap off your exhausted horse, jump directly onto the fresh one, and keep riding. You don't stop for a water break. You don't stop to stretch your legs. You are on the clock, and the physical toll this takes on your body is unimaginable. Riding a horse at a full gallop for 100 miles will absolutely destroy your spine, your knees, and your internal organs. In fact, to keep their internal organs from shifting and bouncing around painfully, messengers had to tightly bind their abdomens and heads with thick cloth bandages before every ride. Now you might be wondering, when do I get to eat and sleep? That's the neat part. You don't. Stopping to eat means losing time, so you eat on the go. Your diet consists mostly of dried meats and whatever you can safely consume without dropping the reins. There's a famous historical rumor that Mongol riders would place slices of raw meat under their horse's saddle. As they rode, the friction, sweat, and heat from the horse would cook and tenderize the meat. Then you'd pull it out and eat it while galloping at 30 miles an hour. Enjoy your saddle sweat jerky. And sleep? Forget about it entirely. If the message is urgent, and with Genghis Khan, it's always urgent, you ride through the night. You ride through freezing blizzards where the temperature drops to 40 degrees below zero. You ride through scorching deserts that bake you alive. When exhaustion finally takes over and your brain physically shuts down, you can't just pull over. To keep from falling off and breaking your neck, you literally tie yourself to the saddle and let the horse's instincts carry you to the next station while you catch a few minutes of agonizing, bouncing sleep. But the physical torture is only half the nightmare. The absolute worst part of being a messenger for Genghis Khan is the psychological terror of delivery day. Let's say you survive the elements. You ride 500 miles in 5 days. Your body is broken, you are covered in dirt and horse sweat, and you finally arrive at the Khan's war camp. Now, you have to deliver the message. If you are carrying news of a great victory, you might be rewarded with gold, fine silk, or a promotion. But what if the news is bad? What if a trusted general has been killed or an army has been defeated? In the ancient world, "Don't shoot the messenger" wasn't a figure of speech. It was a desperate plea for survival. If you deliver bad news to a ruthless warlord who has conquered half the known world, his immediate reaction might be absolute, explosive rage. And you are the only person standing in the room. There are countless historical accounts of ancient rulers executing the bearer of bad news purely out of frustration. If the Khan is unhappy with the message, or if he feels you took too long to deliver it, you might not live to see the sunset. You could ride a horse until your bones fracture, survive blizzards and starvation, only to have your head chopped off the second you finish your 500-mile journey. So let's review. You have the most prestigious job in the empire, but you spend your life covered in mud and horse sweat. You eat meat tenderized by the friction of an animal's back. You tie yourself to your saddle to sleep. You ride 100 miles a day until your spine feels like shattered glass. And the grand finale of your grueling journey is a coin toss on whether the man receiving your letter decides to execute you on the spot. You aren't a majestic explorer. You are a disposable postal worker trapped in a daily nightmare. And that is exactly why it sucked to be a messenger for Genghis Khan. If you made it this far, hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments below. What historical or fictional life should we ruin next? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.